I'm Coffee Kevin, and today we're going to talk about, well, I think we're going to talk about cold brew. Why did I hesitate there? Because I'm actually going to use this thing to see if we can make cold brew. Now, it wasn't recommended for that. It was recommended to bring the temperature of ultra hot coffee down into the safe range, which is 149 or lower. That's Fahrenheit. That's the proper temperature and the safe temperature for your throat and to enjoy coffee. And again, I feel a little guilty about this. My main emphasis on coffee isn't safety. It's really that doesn't sound good, does it? I can already see the people lawyering up. But it's really about taste. I mean, the taste of coffee happens to be the safe range, which is good to know. It's like proof proof in the Lord, because it shows you that we are all designed to safely drink coffee and consume things at the same temperature. Hallelujah, that they taste the best. So that's how it should be in a perfect world. Apparently, it's a perfect enough world for that reason. By gosh, did you realize this was a meeting? Okay, now let's run a clip though. One of the clips I got which brought me into this segment. We're sitting around going, well, what do we want to do today? And I talked to I met someone from Western Kentucky. I met Shane and Callum Case, and they have their roastery there, and called Milk. And first of all, the name grabbed me. The way it was spelled, I had no idea what they were, really. And then I came up and they had this product. But I'm going to prepare for this beforehand because I want to put the ice in right now. In fact, let's see. Suspense mounts. Okay, and I'm going to get this as cold as I possibly can. That's why I'm doing it, starting it now. And I'm actually going to pour the water. It's ice cold in here. It's like the ocean on the West Coast. Okay, and then we've got that. And then, okay, we're ready on this end. I'll get this going. I am also going to brew. What am I going to brew today? I'm going to brew some Fonte coffee. Fonte is one of my favorite Seattle roasters. They are a very nice story to tell about them. I ran into I went into their shop, and the owner happened to walk in at the same time. He heard my pitch, and he just instantly on the spot said, "Oh, we'll definitely be there." So I have a soft spot for them, but I happen to like their coffee. That's another wonderful thing when it all syncs up like that. Tasting notes on this one: it's a Nariño, Colombia Nariño, tart green apple, pear, honeydew, and toffee. It sounds like a coffee that might taste good. It'll taste good at any temperature, but I'm trying to see if I can make a cold brew out of this, because the weather is, even in the Midwest, is starting to get really nice. So let's see. I didn't fill it yet. Let me put this down for a second. And I mean, I'm breaking all kinds of specialty rules today. I am using 58 grams. I wanted this to be definitely strong enough. Just a little shake. And then let's start it. The Brim 8-cup coffee maker, which is nearing the end of, talk about suspense building, nearing the end of the test cycle, so that we're going to be formally reviewing it soon. But we're, oh, you know what? The beep was telling me for a reason. It said, "Hey, Coffee Kevin," we use the word loosely, "be sure to get some water in here." So I am filling it to the optimum place, and now, there we go. "57 grams to 1 liter of water," and it should be going in a moment, and then we'll run today's clip with these entrepreneurs from Western Kentucky. And I always love going around and meeting people from different parts of the country, because you realize a lot of things, there will be a little subtle things they drop in here as to why the consuming culture might be different in different parts of the country, or anywhere in the world as well. And I'm not necessarily completely in concert with the one world coffee concept, that all coffee should be consumed. The brave new world that was outlined by Ted Lingle for us in his interview, as much as I heartily respect him, I like to I hope that the world of coffee is inclusive to a lot of different serving methods. By the way, you can see how well the coffee, if we can get a close-up mic over here on the, yeah, I just want to see, look at how it's foaming up. Whatever camera you can use to get that, I wish we could, we're not going to be able to get that overhead, I don't think. Whatever camera you can use, it shows how fresh it is. This coffee is, well, nearly a year old, and it's been kept in the coffee freshness system. And it's really at its peak right now. And there we go. And yeah, it gets a great shot. I know it's going to be a little bit weird, but I think you can do it. I know you can get that shot. The money shot. There we go. There we are. Look at that. Look at that. I'm not touching it. Yeah. Look at how it foams up there. That's a real sign of freshness. That coffee was roasted last July, and it's June this year. And that gives you an idea how coffee freshness can be preserved. Again, just to put a little plug in for this guy's product, and no, I don't have a back end on this, but it's Robert Wallach. You got to admit, you're quite a creative person. Anyway, it's with this. Let's get the. We'll finish brewing this coffee, and let's run the. Anytime you want, you can roll the clip, Michael. Coffee Kevin, I'm with Shane Case of Milk Limited and Callum Case, right? Okay, and then tell me a little bit about Milk.
We're just a small coffee roaster in Western Kentucky. We started about 2.5 years ago, kind of out of necessity for looking for fresh coffee in a place where we just couldn't find it.
Wow, and what kind of roaster do you have?
We have a BC roaster, 5-pound roaster. It's Buckeye Coffee is the company it's from.
What kind of coffees do you offer people? Or do you do a blend, or do you do what do you do?
We do a few blends, but we do a lot of single origins. We have about 10 different ones, Costa Rican, your standards, and then we have Honduran Lempiras that we like to carry, and we just try to get anything we can to bring it into the new area.
But what you're here doing at Coffee Fest is you're here promoting a new cold brew, right? A cold brew product.
Yeah, we have a cold brew that we come up with, and it's the creamer that we have that we add to it, because where we're from, sweet tea is really popular in Western Kentucky. So we've had to kind of bring it in with a little sweetie because cold brew tends to be a little stout for a lot of people that haven't really been exposed to a lot of coffee. So it's just our way to bring it in and make it palatable for a tea crowd.
And you also, though, have a milk product associated. You have two jugs there.
Right. The creamer that we came up with was just kind of like we fell into a recipe that has really worked well with our coffee, but we've never tried it with a different cold brew, so I'm not sure if it has the same effect, but it really works well with ours. It's been very popular here, and everybody wants it. We're working on getting it bottled and going through the process, but it's just another one of the things that we have to do to be the business, so we're learning that, and hopefully by the end of the year we'll have it bottled for sale.
So you actually roast and brew, and then you also make, in effect, a liquid creamer that goes with it. Have you ever thought of packaging them all together in one ready-to-drink beverage?
Actually, the cold brew come about because we were trying to sell coffee when it was 100 degrees outside. So we decided to go with the cold brew because we exclusively are a coffee roaster. So the cold brew is just something that we added in to try to help promote the business. The creamer become by kind of the same reason. We had to have something to make it palatable for everybody that hadn't had coffee before. So it's kind of growing into this thing where we're going to start trying to sell it all together as a package deal. You can buy the beans yourself and do the cold brew yourself, or you can buy it as a kit, is what we're looking to do.
Wow, but is that wholesale or that's direct to consumer?
Right now it's wholesale, but we hope to do a retail line too. That's the next step.
And milk is because, where'd you come up with the name?
Well, actually, MYLK stands for milk of beans and seeds. And the E on the back is actually a play on Old English because my mother's from Scotland, so we just kind of played off the Old English spelling of the word. Because I believe in Australia there was actually a company that uses MYLK as their business name.
So how's this show going for you?
It's been really cool. There's been a lot of neat people here. We've made a lot of good contacts, and everybody's super nice up here. We've enjoyed it very much.
Well, I myself had a taste of your product, and I actually enjoyed it. I had just a little bit of shot of the Callum gave me a little bit of the milk too, and it was really a delicious beverage.
We're glad.
You get a lot of hot weather in Western Kentucky?
Yeah, it's either really cold or really, really hot, but we don't have a beach to go along with it, so it kind of makes it a little rough.
Well, that's what you have. Let's see, you have bourbon and you have this to go with it.
Yeah, when we can get by with it, we do bring the bourbon cream.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, and it was interesting to me because I realized that the what he was saying is really, I'm thinking about 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Now I don't really know if it gets to 100 degrees Fahrenheit in this part of the country. So we're probably not used to think, but it also reminded we're not used to thinking in terms like that. But yeah, I'm sure he was thinking of something cool and refreshing. Well, I think cool and refreshing still, even at a slightly lower temperature, a more Illinoisan temperature, it would be nice to be able to get something that's. Let me see. I don't have it. Okay, and then Michael was kind enough to get us some more ice. Well, I've really got this filled. So what I'm curious to see is how cool it will get it. And this is our coffee, and let's see what the temperature of the coffee is right now. And it's just been brewed at the proper temperatures, I might point out. And there is that. Oh yeah, are we getting it? There we are. I forgot. See, I told Michael I was going to use that other camera, and you made a mistake, Michael. You trusted me. Okay. Then there we are. What's that? What is that temperature? That temperature is. Can any of us see it? Wow. Is it steaming up? Oh, it's 178. It's 178 in there. That's pretty darn hot. Okay. That is above the safe temperature. So let's do this. Let's bring this guy over here, and let's pour. Is that a good overhead shot for you? All right. Let's do this. All right. There we are. All right. Now I'm going to only fill it up about halfway, because I want to leave room for some ice, because I may have to cool it further. But this, first of all, I'm going to try it hot, and then I'm going to try it, and let's see what temperature we've gotten to now. This is a lot of ice in here, so 121 degrees. Well, that should be very nice and wow. That's extremely pleasant. This is a great temperature for drinking the coffee just like this. Now let's put a little bit of ice in here, and I'm going to use. I still get the ice cubes that my grandfather got. He always insisted on perfectly square ice cubes. He said it needed to be a cube, as he corrected my mother. But she really appreciated that. Now it's cooling it more. 2 ice cubes, I think, will do it, with a little bit of shaved ice I put in there. Now it almost instantly has gotten to 70 room temperature. It's perfectly room temperature. There we go. Room temperature 72 degrees. And it will be cooler quickly. Now we're going to try to duplicate. And you know, there's 2 things I wish I'd have done. There's many more than that in my life, but let's just take the last couple of days, shall we? One of them is, I wish I'd asked Shane for some coffee. He is a roaster. He did have this stuff there, but, you know, in my mind, I'll almost guarantee you, if he's like any other roaster I know, he had some of his beans somewhere for brewing, although I didn't see anything there. I think he just brought cold brew. But I'd like to duplicate it exactly how he did. The other thing is, I'm going to use some sugar in here. I'm going to use some sweetener, and this is coconut palm sugar. Now, I know a story about coconut palm sugar, and this is from Indonesia. And Indonesia, according to some of my friends in Indonesia, did not have diabetes before the Europeans brought cane sugar into the country, but they prefer palm sugar, and this is palm sugar that I'm using. And I almost always use, probably my fondness for all things Indonesia, that I use palm sugar, and I'm going to use some cream, and I'm going to use, this has been refrigerated right up until before airtime, and this is light cream. This used to be called coffee cream, and sometimes it's still here. Can I put this right here? Does that help? There we go. Light table cream, but coffee cream is what I grew up hearing it called. It's 18% cream, and half and half is less than half that. I believe it's around a quarter of that, actually. But anyway, this is what we're going to use in here, and see what this is. This tastes a really good drink, like even similar, remotely similar to Shane's coffee cream, and of course I'd really like to try the bourbon version. Close. I would say his was still better than mine, although yeah, I think so. But I could see this as a pretty refreshing drink on a very hot day. And as July is forthcoming, and August, the two hottest months, at least here and where I live, I can see why people enjoy cold brew. And that reminds me, we should have a cold brew segment pretty soon. And I think I know just the person who I can impose on to visit us and bring some samples. Might be nice, might be refreshing when we take a break in a little while to have another cold brew. But this is, and this is actually, let me correct that. This is not cold brew. This is coffee brewed and then chilled. Very different than cold brew, which this is brewed to full. What I just brewed is the Fonte Colombia Noriño, which was brewed using Gold Cup standards, which are fully extracted using hot coffee and then chilled. And that's going to give a very different cup flavor to the coffee. There are specifically cold brew coffees now were designed to be used in cold brew, and this isn't one of them. And they're designed to endure the elongated brewing process at room temperature that really involves a true cold brew, and we will talk about that in a future segment. But this is what you can do with any. This is a great use of leftover coffee. By the way, my little contribution years ago, I would put some make an ice cube tray and use some leftover coffee in it, so that you would, as the ice melts, it doesn't, unlike this one, this will get more dilute, but that didn't. Actually, I'm getting the green apple absolutely and toffee. I'm sure getting those notes in abundance with this. So, this gets to the old question, does putting a sweetener or putting some sort of cream in your coffee, do away with the reasons that you chose that coffee? And no, it doesn't. I mean, I sometimes wish that it could if the coffee is not good, but I can taste. I just had a coffee. In fact, the other day I was trying one that I was considering putting on, bringing on and brewing for us one day, and I didn't like it at all, and I couldn't. I didn't finish it. I couldn't. I couldn't make it work for my palate. So, needless to say, I won't be. I won't be bringing it on. I don't. I don't like to bring products on and ridicule them either. It's not. I'm not trying to be 60 Minutes here. We are. Let's see. Update on CoffeeCon. We're. What was the term we used to use in corporate? Never been closer. We've never been closer on our fundraising. There's a lot of writing I've been doing. It's putting together really Indiegogo's site. I'm actually bouncing some things off a few people, including some I did try a script out on you folks the other day and got a little feedback. But we should. We're still hoping for tomorrow. We'll see, and then then it involves uploading a video and various what are really our offers are. The other things other than just a good feeling for contributing. What does someone get in return? In effect, by donating to us. So just finishing up that. Very excited, though, hearing from some exhibitors who do want to be involved and also involved in funding. And so I'm touched by that and very excited. We're looking at at least three cities in 2020. However, I'll be the first one to say if the funding goes really well, there's no reason I have to stop at three. There is a reason, however, that we would not want to do too many. We want to keep the quality high, and every one so far has been one that I personally enjoyed attending, and that's kind of my litmus test. I realize that may sound non-specific, but I'm a little bit critical. I can be very. I want it to be right. So that's really it today. I've got to get to work on my Brim review. I've actually been making notes all along. This is just a coconut sugar. You can find it at a lot of grocers. I actually think I got it online, but we all use sweetener for something, and I think coconut sugar works a lot. I will tell you, there's some sweeteners that are better than others at mixing with coffee. I've never found stevia works well in coffee. I don't know about anyone else. Maybe you have, and if you have, feel free to post it. Some people like honey in coffee. We did in. Was it California or was it Seattle? We did I think well, I'm not sure right now, but we had a tasting with coffee of different honeys, and it was interesting. There are enough varieties of honey that it really did make a difference, and there was one that was simply outstanding. I'll have to look and see if we have any records of that. I'd love to do that again. This is cold coffee. I was going to say cold brew, but it isn't cold brew. Okay. 43. I don't know if we can see overhead or what. Is anything if it works. Yeah, this is really a good consuming temperature. I like that kind of cowbell sound, but it really is quite delicious. And again, my hats off to Fonte Coffee Roasters, and hopefully we'll see them again when we're in Seattle. So looking forward to getting out on the road and bringing some new CoffeeCon events to you, and working in effect with our attendees on all elements of it. Anyway, thank you again, and thank you to Shane and Callum Case of Milk. I found that a fun interview, and it's one great thing about traveling. I meet all kinds of folks, and I would really love to try their coffee sometime in a more controlled setting here. Like I said, I try things at shows. I can enjoy them, but there's nothing. Your analytical powers are totally different in a show environment. I'm Coffee Kevin. It's great to visit with you, and we'll see you soon.